Let's keep talking about winter 2024. So this is Tales of Wedding Rings. I've watched the first episode and I want to give my thoughts. So first of all, this isn't my usual kind of story, but the synopsis sounded interesting, so I wanted to check it out. It's an isekai, which is perfectly fine. Basic premise of the story is the blonde girl to his left, Hime. She appears one night in front of him when they're like 6 years old. His name's Sato, and they become friends, and she lives next door to him for 10 years. They get to know each other over the span of a decade, which is a long time. That's basically his entire life at this point. Right around when she hits 16, she tells him that she's going to have to move away back to where her grandfather's from. She just tells him it's far away. He's devastated because he actually wanted to confess his love for her. He's been in love with her for many, many years, and he finally built up the courage to tell her, and then all of a sudden she's leaving. Anyway, she goes to leave. Turns out she's actually from another world, not just from like a different country. She's from a whole different world. And he accidentally gets isekai'd with her to this world. And she is actually set to marry a prince there. And then whoever, because she's a princess, so whoever marries her basically becomes the hero of her world. He shows up. She's about to get married. He calls out her name. Everybody turns around in shock, like, who's this dude? And then a monster attacks. So drama from the get-go. And basically she kisses him. They marry. And he fights off the demon. And so she kind of explains how it all works. She said she didn't want to marry a stranger because she didn't know this prince. She's been living in his world for the last 10 years. She didn't know this motherfucker. She didn't want to marry him. She knows Sato. She wanted to marry Sato. I think she has feelings for him too, but she hasn't actually stated. But just by her actions, you get that impression. And also we have to remember they're 16 years old. So they're kids. So that's heavy. And it's a lot of responsibility because now as a 16-year-old, one, he's a married man. And two, he's a king. And three, he has to save the world. Wild fucking thing to go through. I was a whole idiot at 16, so I can't even imagine. But overall, the premise of it is pretty interesting. My feelings are quite neutral at this point. I'm not super excited about it. It was an interesting first episode. I did balk a little bit at their ages because I'm just like, we could have given them a couple of extra years, you know, made them young adults. But it is what it is. It is a little bit ecchi. Yeah. In general, I don't mind ecchi. It doesn't bother me. It does bother me when it's children. So I'm just like, there's a scene where they're naked in the bath together. Anyway, I will give this a chance. It's not my usual pick. I don't mind fantasy. I do like fantasy. I don't mind isekai too, but I generally do lean towards more like the supernaturally type stuff, you know, anything to do with like folklore and whatnot, more so than the fantasy. But I do like to get out of my comfort zone. So yeah, we'll see where it goes. At least they're both the same age. The bar is low, but at least they're the same age. Again, we'll see where it goes. I'm interested to meet some of these other characters that haven't showed up yet, see what that's all about. But yeah, not bad. It's okay. Thanks for watching.